So welcome. We are here in the office of the Secretary General of the Opposition Congress for Democratic Change, and we're going to be interacting with him. Yesterday, the police made a pronouncement inviting several officials from the former government into the reopening of the full auditors case, including the missing boys. So we are here today. SG, welcome to the media.
Well, thank you. Thank you so. Just like let me make this categorically clear that your visitation here was unannounced, and you just brought your police here, and you say you want to ascertain about event that transpired yesterday. Whatever, this place is a very open place. We are respecter of democracy, and a respecter of most expression of the Congress for Democratic Change. We believe in the precept of democratic prudence. And so,
how do you welcome the news inviting the former finance minister, who is a member of the Congress for Democratic Change, including Senator Bill Twelve, who also is a member of the opposition community?
Well, basically, we don't want to get involved into the political storm about it. The legislative aspect will be dealt with legislatively, and the political aspect will be dealt with politically. For us, in the quest to seek or to ascertain justice, we are in full support of that as a former ruling party and a major opposition leader. We are an institution want to state categorically clear that we welcome any transparent, credible, non-partisan investigation. Against that backdrop, you have our support as an institution. But we want to encourage that the investigators who are currently investigating, this should not be a publicity storm. We are encouraging them that the murderers of the late Joshua Tamamumu, and our scores of them, and even scores of them have been employed. I think they say one of them is currently in the perimeter of Freeport, and the murderers of a private citizen in Lofa County, Tamamumu, and one of them in Lima County. We understand that Mr. Bwaka has appointed them, evident by the fact the ringleader, who happens to be the current Internal Affairs Minister, Queen Johnson, who is parading with with the protection of Mr. Bwaka president. While we welcome the decision, we're also very concerned, and we're also calling on with immediate effect that those cases are also cases that we are very interested in. While we encourage our Liberian citizens, which of all we believe they are innocent until proven guilty, they must cooperate with the laws. Anything far short of that to just engage into politicizing, engage into a wishy-washy investigation, is going to cause a serious concern on us. We are giving Mr. Parker an opportunity first, along with the investigator and Gregory Kuma, for them to do what we have to do such. We too, as we have documented, as we have informed our partner in and out of Liberia, but we want to use this time to say we are very concerned and we want them to take these cases as serious matter as possible as well.
Now, when you say to do the honorable thing, you expect them to do the honorable thing. What exactly are you talking about?
Well, the perpetrators are not in Queen is in employ of is in employ of the Freeport. We have the Internal Affairs Minister who was seen on tape threatening the life of citizens. He's been rewarded. The late Tamamubu, who was gruesomely murdered, his murderers were being rewarded. They were being appointed. We have written the Justice Minister, and we heard he said there's lack of sufficient evidence. The fact that the president was able to appoint them, and before even investigating, in itself indicate compromises. And we want to see the government has a chance to correct a wrong. So we want to say as an institution, we welcome that decision. And another thing we're very concerned about, very concerned, we want to quickly extend our DPS condolences to the unfortunate demise of the Liberian who lost their life from the excessive speed motorcade that saw a tragic accident that took the life of Liberian, and within two, the schools are then currently in very critical condition, and we're hoping that the grace of God they can be able to recuperate, speedy recovery. But we want to say Mr. Waka is believed to be a Baptist deacon. When people lost their life, we thought it was fair enough to show some level of empathy, sympathy, rather than to continue the journey and not considering the loss of life and those who were critically on the scene. We think the security apparatus, they are trying to normalize the taking away of life, most especially in the city. They are citizens. We want to call this for an immediate investigation of the EPS director. We want to call for his investigation. The EPS director who is in charge of the safety of Mr. Boakai, that should ensure that the records and mechanisms are put into place. We can be protecting the president at the expense of the life of citizens. We think Semgate needs to be investigated, and why investigation is going on, the rumors about that. With the case with the Drug Enforcement Agency, we think the Semgate should stand down and be investigated why the life that was lost to be in a very harsh festive season where people are still struggling to find a daily meal. Nothing is wrong about that.
I want to take you back a little bit. We agree, your partisan, the former government officials, to honor the police invitation in the absence of them not bringing in all the cases that have been in the past that
No.
you mentioned of?
No, for us, we are not abiding people. We have nothing to cover. We have absolutely nothing to hide. We have encouraged them. We have encouraged former government officials. We have encouraged our policies to act in accordance. Honoring the police invitation, it doesn't in any way signify that you are. But if there is a sibling or foul play and you try to do something, you can rest assured as an institution, you will not permit that.
But why if the government is not interested in all the cases? What will the party do?
It's not about the government interest. It's what is appropriate to be done. It is a matter of concern. When you take on responsibility as a public leader, decisions are not conditioned on the basis of your interest. It is done on the basis of the appropriateness of what is required as a public official. Those who lost their lives in Liberia, there's no way you want to take away of a person, take away of life, a person's life. I don't think there must be investigation. We also want to quickly remind them our concern is, you can remember when we were being defamed here, we were being lied on, that we brought weapons in this country. That we brought weapons in this country. But because we are a child of a living God, and those who fear us, who doesn't in any form or manner has what it takes to confront us, they will treat in cowardice and begin to spill mis and disinformation on our character. But as long as we stay here, the truth that crushed to the ground will continue to reveal itself. Today, the police have clearly stated yesterday that those arms that are brought in the country, we have absolutely no connection. You have a shameless and irresponsible creature of our government who is a traditional, cultural liar. Lying has become a norm. He's a lying DNA character. But today he said in the same press conference where when he said that we brought arms in this country, today he must be honorable enough to speak truth to the Liberian people. He's a shameless character and a spiritless creature who survived on the basis of false food and mis and disinformation. The man who is not even bothered. He is shamelessly unbothered about his reputation. These are people who misled the Liberian people. So today, he must do the honorable thing that come for the public, that he lies on our person. A lot of them who lie, and will continue to be exposed. The second aspect, Monrovia, when we talk about the three missing boys, on the day they mentioned on the infamous Global Muslim Scar case, and somebody called me and said, oh, they are about to free the former Chief Justice. And I said, I How is that concerning me? I have no interest. And they say they have appointed her nephew as the county Anthony, Richard Scott. So he's now the Monrovia County Anthony. How is that concerning me? I have absolutely no connection. I've never met her in person before. I have no association with her. But if the young lady were murdered by people, God in heaven will never, she may not be around, but God in heaven will never allow the murderer of little Musi to find peace. There is no authority on the face of this earth that can shield themselves from the colossal murder of the little child. Young woman who were murdered in from a manner, whosoever, not only them, their generation shall never find peace. You may attempt to use man's authority, but God's authority is indeed the ultimate authority. And that's why our heart remains very pure as snow, and our innocence remain consistent like the northern star. And we want to say with no stupor that they can take any decision they want to take ever. But thank God that we've been vindicated. People wanted power here, and they thought they could just lie. They could do anything to lie and bring them. We want to say thank God that today the lies that crushed to the ground are beginning to rise. The truth that crushed to the ground is beginning to rise in education. We also want to mention about those lies that were being used as weapons and weaponize our people into falsehood. We want to say the Liberian people will spread will begin to learn. So we want to say as an institution, we encourage those government officials that have been impacted. We ask them to cooperate, and we believe strongly that under our leadership, we have nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing to hide. We may not be 100% perfect, but we try our possible best to do what we call service delivery. We have some challenges and some stumbling blocks. About 85% of what we're being casted upon us were lies, bold-faced and colorless lies. And that's when we allow these lies, and we dissipate in thin air, and we respond to them sharply.
Yeah, so, as my name is Blamoto from the Liberian Investigator and Radio Bushel. My first question is, have you sensed any sinister motive beyond the police declaring Tuwewe and Jala as persons of interest?
Well, busy.
And secondly, why are you calling for the investigation of Senge for the tragic incident, or as that involving the president's motorcade? Why are you calling for investigation?
Well, the motorcade of the Excellency is under the jurisdiction of the APSR. If you have a motorcade that is engaged into taking the life of a citizen, the president should be providing festive greetings, should be ensuring finding food for people to celebrate. It's not to be subjecting people into mourning condition. It's not to subject citizens into confinement to ELW hospital. Do you care to know those who lost their life? Do you care to know the impact they were making as breadwinner Some of you know if a man is, but in a track, I always think he's a track cycler. He's a track cyclist. So he's a breadwinner. He woke up this fateful day on a hustle to sustain his family. But because of Sengi, ineffective and incompetence, they saw the man lost his life. If the EPS director was effective and competent enough, I thought they said the point, yeah, those who get all the competent people are left in the EPS. How can the EPS, the Congo, will not be professionally guarded in protecting the president and also protecting the citizen? But instead, see what's happening instead of the 26. And after you see the convoy can stop, what stop Sengi for stopping there? I understand you have to take ordinary people who are very concerned, who are happy to take the people out of the hospital. This gross insensitivity should not be permitted in the space of our democracy. We must care. People, those are not chicken. Those are living beings. They are breadwinners who not met their untimely death. So we think it's important, fair enough, for a president, a leader who is interested, who is a respecter of the Nigerian people, so that he can be able to investigate and subsequently ascertain, so that you can set a precedent. You cannot have a repetition of the incident that transpired a couple of hours ago.
My first question, you did not respond to that. Have you sensed any sinister motive?
Well, they are innocent people, so we know. Well, the police can choose to politicize. They can choose to politicize what they can. But I know Samuel Twain. He's a compassionate man. I know Beltran. They are innocent people. I know Dr. Jala. Those are people with high moral standard. There's no amount of attempt to manufacture anything will make them be bothered about that. We have spoken to them as an institution. The Excellency Dr. George Miller, we are the man of peace, and we are very clear that we go. It's easier to lie to come to power, but no one lie in governance, because the people will begin to unearth the facts, and the lies will be exposed.
My name is Elijah, and I work for Fortune Television. 2 days ago, you were with the representative of district number 10, and we get called back, in which you had a meeting in his press conference, talking on, and the police have said that they didn't go at his house to go and raid. During the season period, they go at various ghettos and raid the period. But Koruba have said that they're going to raid his area, in which in your press conference you said you're going to protect Honorable Koruba. Looking at the statement from the police, what do you think that to be turned out that the raids ghettos during season periods? And referring to Honorable Koruba era as the ghetto.
That's a sheer hypocrisy that they are often being used, and literally will say to you that after the Trump is used to build a mansion, it's been denied the privilege to plant in the face of the mansion. When do they realize that when the likes of Yeke Koruba, resident can be termed as ghetto? It wasn't a ghetto when the entire rescue team sought refuge. Well, what we can see for them, that is their nature. We don't expect anything different from them. What we want to be very categorically clear about is this. People have created their creatures. should be man enough to facing what's been created by them. Like the creator facing the creature. And they should not want any other person. We think the manner in which they went to the resident of the representative was irresponsible, was nicodemously done. No civilized police force should even get to that. As we speak to you now, we too have been in touch with him consistently. We have ensured that a citizen action is being put into place. This morning, he himself spoke. And moving forward, the way the police are conducting themselves, we are actively trying to ensure, because we don't know what the next person. We are actively saying when they invade an area and determine it to be ghetto, who knows? They could go to another place. Even you were asking the question. They will call a ghetto, and they think it's a justification. What kind of ghetto you go to and you spill tear gas? No other ghetto. Why all the ghetto then will not see tear gas? There's no other ghetto that I've seen tear gas. No other ghetto. Only to the main resident. So what we're trying to do now is we effectively encouraging our people and working some modalities so people can be able to protect themselves. Because it's getting, when police go to King George and life is taken, they say they use minimum force. The citizen, armless people, you said, put the security as risk. When you go, if 16, 15-year-old child were murdered, the next thing you go, police issue release and say they dismiss this person, and the next thing you see the inspector general is shaking hands. The next thing you hear 5,000 is being delivered. It's been delivered. Are we being given money in exchange for the loss of life? Are we think by apologies and dismissal is a justification for the loss of life? For us, we're not going to politicize. No, we're not. We're going to follow the cogent issues. So we're calling attention. So that when the CDC decides to take an action in this country, there can be no room for you to say the CDC did not do its work. So everything the CDC is doing is to ensure God the necessary attention to the ills and the flaws of this regime.
As you quoted today, you have been punished by the international community. Your character has been alive about other things. The truth are coming out from today, most especially when you hear the very police vindicating you. Do you think it's now time for those who are punishing you, the dissension you are undergoing, the lies that brought you into the party of power, for you to rethink and vindicate you as well?
Well, I can say this to you with great deal of with certainty. I'm vindicated. I know myself. I didn't do this. I'm a Christian, man. I'm a fully devoted Christian, and I believe in that. I know our history, and I know the greatest men in history were persecuted, and even the religions we follow from. And when the disciples of Christ, there were moments in our history when these men were persecuted, and in the final analysis, what they were falsely persecuted for became accepted in today's world. We can take this. All of our detractors who thought their intention was to break people out of the you cannot. You don't know us. We're not surprised about the police. Every single thing will be proven that we are victims of lies, malicious lies. Nothing more. I was talking to Choko the last time. I said, look, Choko, you see, I'm an orphan. There's a reason why I got Gamma, and my mother gave birth to me 7 days, she spies. My father died. And that's why I'm very passionate about what I do, what I engage in. Those who doesn't storm me, they find refuge in mischaracterization and belittling me. I have never taken a life of a chicken in this world. As simple as it is. Never. But because people fear to say it. But what we're going to do is that, what they do not understand, we have inspired ourselves to stand up for what we believe in. And we cannot bow down because of naked truth.
I listened to you calling on Falcon to apologize. I know Falcon is not one person that will easily bow down. Will you take further actions? The burden of lies.
Not to apologize to me, to the Liberian people. All of those people, the likes of Falcon, Jerome Vadia. I'm not a public official now. I'm a private citizen. So we compiling everything. So he's cool. I'm telling you that he's government official. I'm talking about his employer. The government official we have in this country.
So you wearing the low-fat clothes, that means to the last time you're talking on the president employ GC people at the barrack. Are you trying to become an army man now because you're a GC man?
So we wear low-fat in the army man?
Because you said the low-fat people are employed as GC people plated in the army.
I'll be very specific, and I mentioned I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm not going to disown being a fan because Mr. Baka has been tolerated by the Liberian people. Today I had a mass meeting with people of fans, students, and we were given expressions as a gift, as we stay here, we've been appreciated by our people who understand our heart and soul and our passion for what we believe in. So you guys came here, I was expecting people like you. I was in my Monrovia County meeting. So there are a group of people who came to me and we're discussing Nova matter. I don't know who here for Nova, who am I? Choco you for Nova? You are here, passing here.
Finally from my end.
Where are you from? Are you from Nova or are you from Basel?
Grand Basel.
Oh, wonderful, okay.
Finally from my end, the information minister said the CDC did threaten to burn down, set ablaze the airport. That was the reason for the deployment of the armed forces, officers of the armed forces of Liberia. Do you care to comment on that?
You see, when I speak about the character in which you mentioned, you think people say no. Sometimes it's not like we try to be the way people perceive. When I reference him as being a shameless, unintended child that was engaged into verbal ejaculation, I was very deliberate about that. There's a man where the chief of staff say he has no knowledge. So you see where you see the man was ejaculating? The man who preside over the army say no, The man who they play preside over, they play Lola Dompa. You can't even find a way to solve it. He tried to say things, that's the only thing that you just that state, you know what I mean? That certain state you in, that state where you loses everything. And I said, you don't have to talk because you're in a position. And that's why I see, anytime when I come to talk, I mention, see his younger brothers, people his senior father, when he was serving in government, these people were still in school. But those are people who, Amos was a deputy minister. He has studied ways to elevate himself. He is currently now to the LPRC. And Mo and Son project, he was handling the project as finance ministry. As we speak to you, he's the head of an agency. Baka was something, Baka Jaliba was Son assistant minister. You see, he's a deputy, vice president, he was something. Those are progressive young people that we know very well. The only man who is stagnated and who is believed to be interpreting the wrongs of his fellow cabinets member. There are people, the men who want to bring please them so-called trend. Now, yes, there must be actionable actions. He should be concerned about the threat, so they never investigate him. It's stopping us to harming former president. Former presidents should be given all due courtesy and necessary. You see what happened in America? The Secret Service director were quizzed and she did the honorable thing, she resigned. But people like PLM who engage in the verbal ejaculation should be talking about, leaving the office for misleading the Liberian people. But he's not going to do that. He is a person who we pay no attention to, and the chairman will deal with him. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
Final question. Finally, the CDC COP just announced that they are encouraging folks, international community, government, Liberians, even citizens, to abandon the July 26th celebration. Is the CDC trying to boycott the July 26th celebration?
If we were doing that with state and rain, I think somebody has a question with you. You state and rain, so
thank you so much.
What we engage into and what we deem appropriate was been altered by us. We welcome the invitation of the police, and we ask the police to be transparent, accountable, and credible. And we also call on the police to go further on other death cases in this country. We think the police should do that with immediate effect. The police should not delve into politicizing. We also believe that same case should be subjected to immediate investigation for the loss of life of the innocent Liberians and those who are very critical. We think such action is a clear testimony of his incompetence. EPS director should be well schooled to understand the risk analysis that is associated with the president convoy, motorcade, and move. Your failure to be able to do that appropriately is speak to your gross incompetence. So those are things that we're very concerned about. We talk about the elected faculty who said here that the 3 boys that were missing, and now we draw weapons. We've been vindicated by a risky mission, police services. So we think those are cabinet issues that we talk, and we can't wish the people happy 26 because there's absolutely nothing to be happy of. There is a lot to move for. I think it is a move for 26 because there are more people who have, people lost their life, but those that, you see, yes, the protector have become the executor. It's unfortunate. The rescue, the risky mission, from being rescued, you have turned to risky. From being protector, you have turned to executor. And so you do not, if these things, people who are supposed to be providing the opportunity for their citizenry to be happy, and the children should be happy and be celebrating. Today we say to you, if you check either a policeman is saying he made an unintended shooting that took away a life. We ask ourselves what happened to the family in King George, what happened to the family in rehab, Today, a motorcade, if the police is not trying to take away your life, if the police haven't taken away your life, the next thing that will take your life is the incompetence of Saint Gay. The motorcade will certainly take the life of a track cyclist. It is today's Liberia. We live under Mr. Boakai. So we want to encourage Liberia a moonful 26th, where you two things. If someone not die for you, you have to moon hunger. You have to moon, sickness. You have to moon, abject poverty.
I'm not sure we're mourning anything now. We're celebrating 177.
Well, a few handful of people cannot be defined. If you ask entrepreneur, I think he's also will tell you he may not be mourning, but he knows people who are mourning as well. I want to say peace unto the ashes of a friend and brother, chosen Kazoo. I can remember the last time we met here was on Tuesday. It was on the 4th of July. And we want to say thank you to His Excellency Dr. George Monrovia, who had extended a formal condolences to him. He was a progressive young journalist. I understand. Up to present, Mr. Barker, have said nothing about him, and he's not interested in people who are very progressive, and nobody who is government is interested in that. I think Mr. Barker has normalized become a non-respecter of the Liberian people, particularly you, member of the 4SD. I want you take that into consideration. You're not talking about children. The devil is not putting the weak upon people, but you need to be very concerned. Is when your friend, the trouble is not being paid attention to, they can tell you that maybe you're not around, they may not pay attention to you. You don't wish for that, but you need to be reminded of who your leaders are today. The leaders should be caring for people. Children was a very good man, smart young man. He was a very good. Apparently, Baka may not like a reporting, and so he asked the minister not to pay attention to him. By giving his salary to the family. The CDC is arranged a delegation. We go, the delegation will go. The SOSA, the young people, will instruct them so that the delegation and SOSA. So here we go to children's house and also to the young man who wants to learn through the incompetence of sending services like the motorcade. Thank you very much.